Hi there guys, so Anthony Joshua made a prediction when his fight with Tyson Fury happened. He said he would stop him within 6 rounds. He also said that there's no hard feelings, but he just wants to break Tyson Fury's head en road to gaining that WBC world title, which obviously is kind of the objective when you are in the ring, especially in the heavyweight division. Go for the knockout. I mean, that's what the heavyweight division is about. Big knockouts and drama. We saw that with Dillian Whyte and Alexander Povetkin, but now Tyson Fury has responded, or seemingly responded, to those claims. He was asked on Instagram what would happen in a fight between him and Anthony Joshua, and more specifically, how quick would it take him to batter Joshua. He said he would batter Joshua in 1 round. That is what Tyson Fury has said and predicted for his undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua. He believes he can beat him in 1 round. Now, does Tyson Fury really believe this? No, I don't think so, but ultimately he would try. But at the end of the day, Joshua is a high-level opponent, probably better than any he has faced before. Arguably maybe Vladimir Klitschko, because obviously he has the resume and the years in the sport of boxing. But ultimately, Anthony Joshua would be Tyson Fury's toughest fight to date. So would he stop him in 1 round? It's the heavyweight division, so yes, it's possible, but realistically, no. I don't believe he can stop Anthony Joshua in the first round. I don't believe he will stop Anthony Joshua in the second or third round. I think that if that did happen, then it would be late on in the fight, when maybe Joshua is fatigued and Tyson Fury steps on him. I think that that is the only way he can stop Anthony Joshua. I don't believe that he can realistically hurt Anthony Joshua in the early rounds, and I know there is a lot of speculation about Anthony Joshua's chin and whether he can take a punch or not, his punch resistance. But ultimately, Anthony Joshua has never been on the canvas in a fight where he hasn't knocked down his opponent first, which tells you one thing: he rushes in too quickly. So Anthony Joshua does have a good chin, good punch resistance. So can Tyson Fury hurt him? Well, it is the heavyweight division. Tyson Fury weighs north of 19 stone. So yes, he can hurt Anthony Joshua, but I don't believe he possesses that one big punch that can equalize the fight. I believe that as the fight goes late, that is when he can start breaking Anthony Joshua down, but not before that time. That is why Anthony Joshua said he will stop Tyson Fury within 6 rounds. Tyson Fury's best chance is get through those 6 rounds, get to the later half of the fight. Then maybe he can start oppressing his size, his speed, his movement on Anthony Joshua, because Tyson Fury has a natural engine. He is very good going late into fights. In fact, Tyson Fury seems to only get stronger as fights go on. Anthony Joshua maybe has a few issues as fights go late. Not when he's in control though. In the Ruiz rematch, in the Joseph Parker fight, 12 rounds seemed pretty easy for Anthony Joshua to do, but that was only because Anthony Joshua was in control of the tempo and in control of the distance. A fighter will very rarely get tired when they are in control of those things. It's when they get taken out of their comfort zone and fighting at a pace they don't want to be fighting at, or a distance they don't want to be fighting at, being on the inside and holding and being pulled around. That is when a fighter starts to get tired, because they start burning nervous energy. Anthony Joshua, on both occasions, when he went 12 rounds with Andy Ruiz and when he went 12 rounds with Joseph Parker, he did not get tired because he was in control of the fight. He was in control of the distance, the timing, the tempo, the movement, all of it. The distance they were fighting at, he was in control. So Anthony Joshua did not tire in those fights. Whereas in there with Tyson Fury will try and set a tempo early on and try and raise that tempo as the fight goes on. If Anthony Joshua can control certain aspects of the fight, such as the distance, such as the pace, then he will not tire in the fight. But Tyson Fury's game plan, you can guarantee it, will be to take Anthony Joshua into deep water. I don't believe that Tyson Fury will start in the same manner that he did against Deontay Wilder. I believe what Tyson Fury's plan will be is, as I said earlier, to take Anthony Joshua late. So you would have to see it as maybe the first 6 rounds to Anthony Joshua, maybe the second 6 rounds to Tyson Fury. I believe that the later the fight goes, it only favours Tyson Fury. But in those first 6 rounds, that is where Tyson Fury is going to have to be extremely careful, because Anthony Joshua, I don't believe, is as vulnerable as many make out, and he's more technically sound than many believe. Anthony Joshua is a good boxer. We have seen that in the past. I believe that the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight, the rematch, was his best performance because he controlled the fight. He controlled Andy Ruiz Jr., which we saw in the first fight is not easy to do. And in a fight with Tyson Fury, I believe that Anthony Joshua will go for the kill very early on. I don't believe he will want to let the rounds tick by. Now, he's not going to go in there and ultimately just go straight for Tyson Fury and put it on him, because Tyson Fury is smart enough and clever enough, especially early on, to not get caught with something big. We saw that in the Wilder fight. Wilder did come out eager to land, but Tyson Fury made him miss and made him pay. In fact, he could have had Deontay Wilder out of there in that first fight, but ultimately he had the wrong game plan, really, for fighting Deontay Wilder. He had the right one in the second fight, but that game plan that worked against Deontay Wilder will not work against Anthony Joshua, because Joshua is stronger, boxes well off the back foot if he has to, and also fights extremely well on the inside. When Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder locked up and got close on the inside and held, Deontay Wilder was stood bolt upright, but Tyson Fury had his hips bent and back, and he wanted to work. Tyson Fury wanted to be working on the inside against Deontay Wilder. Wilder did not, but Anthony Joshua will. Anthony Joshua will oblige Tyson Fury if he wants to fight on the inside. And I believe that Tyson Fury is a very good inside fighter, but I believe that Anthony Joshua is also a very good inside fighter, and I believe Anthony Joshua has the better short shots than Tyson Fury, but ultimately Tyson Fury has a better jab. Not in the sense of how neat it is, but in the sense of how he varies it, coming from the hip, coming straight, coming around to the side, and he doubles it up as well as he moves around. So Tyson Fury has good movement, and he does keep that jab in the face of his opponent as he changes his distance and as he changes his angles. I think that the key for Anthony Joshua to keep Tyson Fury at his pace is to work to the body of Tyson Fury, break him down, slow him down, make sure that Anthony Joshua is constantly in control of the pace of the fight. So work to the head of Tyson Fury, jab to the head, and that straight right hand to the body. If Tyson Fury does decide to come forward, and obviously what Tyson Fury does when he does come forward, we saw in the Deontay Wilder rematch, is he implements a double feint, and that is how he works off of everything. So Tyson Fury does that to get a reaction from his opponent. When he does that, Anthony Joshua needs to commit, and when Tyson Fury does walk forward, if he does, is find a way to land a punch. If he cannot land on the head of Tyson Fury, shoot to the body, stop him from coming forward, because Tyson Fury is so big, 6'9", 19 stone, physically imposing, that he will tire Anthony Joshua out. If he does come forward, maul him, pull him around on the inside. So what AJ must do is make sure that he keeps Tyson Fury at a distance, not a long distance, but ultimately make sure that they are not holding on the inside. Make sure that he is constantly working when he can, and if they do tie up on the inside, he needs to make sure that he is the one who walks Tyson Fury back, turn him on the ropes. He needs to be in the condition to be able to do that, because when he does, that is one mental victory for Anthony Joshua, and that is going to be extremely important in this fight with Tyson Fury. And on the other hand, I think that Tyson Fury needs to try and drag Anthony Joshua late. So in the early rounds, I think he needs to be elusive. I think that he needs to make Anthony Joshua miss and make him pay. Ultimately, I don't believe that Tyson Fury is going to go in there in the early rounds and make a fight of it with Anthony Joshua, but what he must do is try and drag Anthony Joshua late. He needs to use his size and weight advantage over Anthony Joshua, but if he can be elusive, avoid Anthony Joshua's best shots in the early stages of the fight, which is not going to be easy to do, not as easy as it was against Deontay Wilder, because Anthony Joshua is very clever with his shots. He has very good combinations, and he doesn't just have one big right hand. He has power in both hands and varies his shots as well. So it's not going to be easy, but if Tyson Fury can survive those early rounds, being elusive, maybe fighting off the back foot if he has to, but if he can, then he can start pressing the action. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Tyson Fury believes he can stop Anthony Joshua in one round. Guys, drop your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks, guys.